Welcome to StraddleIncome. This channel is to help you understand companies so that you can decide if it's worthy of your investment. Our goal here is to conduct the research for you so you don't have to do it yourself. In today's video, we'll continue our research on Roblox. This is part 2 of the 3-part video about the company. In this video, we'll talk about Roblox financials and the key operating metric. If you're thinking about investing in this company or already an investor, make sure you watch on. Please also make sure that you want to watch to the end, as we have a small question quiz with a gift for those answering it correctly. If you're new to this video and are not familiar with Roblox, please make sure to watch the previous video where we talked about the company and the product. I'll put a link on the top right. I highly recommend that you watch that video first before jumping into this video. And please make sure to click the subscribe button so that you will not miss the next upload on Roblox. We will look at the Roblox stock chart pattern and discuss if now is a good time to get into the company. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. As with all the companies, one of the key financial metrics is revenue, basically which is how much money can this company bring in. Let's take a look at the revenue progression of the company. The blue bar chart is the revenue reported by Roblox in its financial documents. And the orange line is our calculation on the revenues, measuring quarter-over-quarter growth rate. It's plotted from March 2019 to March 2021 based on the reported numbers. And the June quarter is the projection Roblox gave to the Wall Street. It is not actual, so that's why it's in a dotted line. As you can see, the revenue has increased significantly during the last 2 years. In the beginning of 2019, the company had a revenue of 111 million. And in June that year, the company reported a revenue of 115 million, representing an increase of 3.9% over the previous quarter. Revenue of the company continued to increase, reaching a stunning growth rate of 24.78 at the end of December 2019. However, the growth rate dropped to 1.93% at the following quarter. This could possibly be because of the COVID-19. With an escalation of COVID and lockdown implemented across the world afterwards, Roblox revenue actually was benefited from that. Its revenue growth continued to climb up to 17.41% in the second quarter of 2020, and then 27.67% in the third quarter of 2020. Towards the end, the peak was at 59.78%. This is a stunning number in the March quarter of 2021. These monster growth rates were largely due to lockdown policies, because Roblox primary target audience are kids and teenagers. They were staying at home because of the lockdown, and they had more time to play games on the Roblox platforms. But in the upcoming quarter of 2021, Roblox is expecting a revenue top 372 million, which is the first time the company is going to report a negative growth rate. This could attribute to that kids are going back to school. The pandemic-fueled growth is now behind the company. So this is the first time it's going to report a negative growth rate, expected to be minus 3.87%. There are 2 takeaways from this chart. One is that it seems Roblox revenue always spikes up during the last quarter of the year. For example, December 1st, 2019 and December 1st, 2020. This could possibly be because the kids have additional time and the resource to play games on the Roblox, or it could also be that Roblox is doing promotions during those times to get more players. We'll discuss the root cause on this when we look at the daily active users later in this video. The second takeaway is that revenue growth has slowed down, and possibly for the first time, the company is going to have a negative growth rate as projected by the company. This is alarming, showing the impact that people going back to work and kids going back to school with the lift of lockdowns around the world. But again, these are pure expectations from the company. It could be that management wanted to underpromise but overdeliver. So it will be very interesting for us to see the actual result on August 16 in coming weeks. Now, let's look at one level deeper than the income or revenue. Let's look at what is happening under the hood, the profitabilities. Usually the best metric for that is the net income. And to make it easier to understand, if revenue is your monthly salary, the net income is what you saved after paying off all the credit card debt. So the money that goes into your checking or saving account. But as with a lot of other companies in the hyper growth mode, Roblox is not profitable. Their net income is negative. And the Wall Street understands that. Recently Wall Street is becoming more and more tolerant that companies, especially tech companies, reporting negative net income. But as long as that the revenue growth rate is still positive. So instead of looking at the net income, another key metrics on profitability is cash. How much cash does the company has to spend and can spend freely, which is called a free cash flow. And that's what we're going to look at here. Now, let's look at the Roblox free cash flow statement in first quarter of 2021. The company was reporting 142 million free cash flow. This represented an increase of around 20% from the prior quarter. Now, comparing that to the same period in the year ago, in first quarter of 2020, the free cash flow was 34.6 million, which was an increase of more than 300% from the prior quarter. Again, we're seeing the growth on the free cash flow has slowed down. However, one thing to note here is that the absolute number here might not be as important as the trend and trajectories because free cash flow has large fluctuations. If company decided to purchase equipment and investing in another company, it will really impact the free cash flow. So it is important to keep that in mind. But what we're seeing here and the takeaway is that the rate of increase on the free cash flow is also decreasing. It is still positive, but it's decreasing, similar to the slowdown of the growth rate on the revenue side. Next, let's switch gear a bit from the financial metrics. Let's look at the key operating metrics measuring the activities on the platform. This chart is displaying the daily active users on the platform for the previous 2 years. The blue bar chart represents the daily active users reported by the Roblox. The orange line is also provided by the company, which is showing the daily active user, which is called DAU. The DAU growth rate year over year, meaning how is the DAU for quarter 1, 2020 comparing against the DAU number from the same time period of the previous year. So year over year growth rate. Company does that usually to take out any seasonal and cyclical impact. The yellow line is calculated by us, which is measuring the DAU growth rate quarter over quarter. We believe that Roblox is more immune from the seasonal impact comparing to, for example, hotels or companies in the hospitality sectors. Therefore, the quarter over quarter performance is also very key to surface any potential opportunities and or risks. As you can see in the second quarter, starting from September 1st, 2020, the DAU was starting to decline for both the year over year and the quarter over quarter metrics. In the following quarter, Roblox was reporting a 2.49% DAU quarter over quarter, which was the lowest in the previous 2 years. And also in the meantime, the year over year metrics is also starting to flat out to around 94%. Still very good number, but we're slowly seeing that momentum has shifted away. Coming to the most recent quarter, the year-over-year growth rate dropped to 79%. Lower, but still well above the 2019 average. But the expected Q2 2021 is not so optimistic. As you can see from the dotted line, Roblox is expecting a 36 million daily active user on the platform, which represents a year-over-year growth rate and a negative quarter-over-quarter growth rate of minus 13%. You did not hear wrong, it would be a negative quarter-over-quarter growth rate. While we're expecting growth to slow down, the quarter-over-quarter decline is something worthwhile to understand, and it is quite alarming here. The key takeaway here is that the upcoming quarter is very critical to Roblox. It is company's moment of truth. While the strong growth behind the company, how does the company actually continue its growth is very critical. Roblox management needs to provide a proof that the growth rate is sustainable to its investors. So if you're thinking about investing in Roblox, make sure you follow closely to the upcoming quarter reporting. So in summary, we have reviewed the financial metrics of the Roblox, which is revenue and a cash flow statement. Further, we have also looked at the key operating metrics, the daily active user on the platform. All this data is telling us that Roblox growth is slowing down. The momentum has shifted. This is expected as lockdown around the world is being lifted. Now, before we say goodbye here, we have a small quiz as promised in the beginning of the video. So thank you to all who have stayed till the end. Let's talk about how to answer that question to get a $5 Amazon gift card. So here's the question. According to the video, when is Roblox moment of truth? So to get a $5 gift card, click the first link in the description. You will be taken over to a survey site where you need to answer one question correctly. Then submit your contact information for us to send you the gift card. It is that easy. Now, thank you for your time, and we'll talk about Roblox stock chart pattern in the next video.